What's holding you back? We've got a 90-day goal that we're working toward, and sometimes we come across obstacles, things that are standing in our way, beliefs that we have in ourselves, beliefs that we have about the environment around us. And what the belief means is we have certainty that these things are actually standing in our way. So what my intention for this video is to go over several different things that are holding the majority of people back in their lives. So we can push those out of the way. We can decide, are they real obstacles or are they just something that we're thinking about and we believe to be true, but truly aren't? Because obstacles stand in the way every single day. And if you let them stand in the way of your success, you're never going to get anywhere. But once we can start realizing the truth and we shine light on those things that we thought were true and we realize aren't true at all, that's when we can be powerful. That's when we can start stepping forward and accelerating our success because we're not limited to what we believed limited us before. So let's get started. Number one, time. Time is a big thing when it comes to being an obstacle for people. They go, I just don't have the time. I really want to be able to do something. I want to be able to be a creator. I want to be able to be a coach, but I just don't have the time to do it. So the question is, do you not have time in your life right now? Is right now you're just so busy with things, you have absolutely no time to spend on anything new? I'm so busy with my job. I'm so busy with my family. I'm just so busy. Everything is going on. Or is it, I just don't have time in the day because my day is just chaotic. I have absolutely zero time. Because if it's I've just got a busy season, the question is, when does that season end? When do you make the decision that, okay, enough is enough. I've had these things that are going on and I'm going to make steps in order to kind of curtail all the craziness so I can live the life that I want to? Or is it, I just don't have time in the day? Because I've been guilty of this one too, saying, I just don't have enough time in the day. And then I start looking at all the things I've been spending time on, whether that's checking out social media, looking at a cell phone, watching movies on Netflix on repeat, just watching series and binging those things. All that time is time that you could be spent moving toward your goal, something that's really important to you, rather than just something that's mind-numbing and starts taking and eating chunks of time every single day. Because every step that we can take toward our goal ensures that we're getting better every single day. That time can be used to making us a more fulfilled person rather than just mind-numbing stuff that doesn't create any sort of change in our life. So if you feel like you don't have any time during the day, start taking a look at where you're spending your time. Because realize it's not about how much time you have, it's about what you do with that time that you have. Because you could surf the internet, you can surf on your phone, on social media, you can watch television, you can watch movies, you could sleep, you could do whatever you want with it. However, do any of those things get you closer to where you want to be? Or are you going to make the decision that you're going to focus that time, that energy that you have onto something that can truly change your life? It's a big decision to make, but where you spend your time is going to dictate how successful you can become. Now, what's the next thing? Next thing that a lot of people say is standing in their way is money, saying, I just don't have enough money. I just can't invest in things right now. I've got ideas that I want to be able to get off the ground, but I don't have enough money to do it. So here's a question for you. Have you ever had any of those times where you had a bill that all of a sudden came due, just came out of the woodwork, and you had to take care of it, and you figured out a way to do it? Now, here's what's really, really odd, is that you can figure out a way to make something happen when that is for somebody else, but you can't do it when it's for you. It's kind of something that's a weird phenomenon that we do, We're really, really worried, and we bend over backwards when something else needs money. If we're behind on rent and we have to pay that right now, we're going to find a way to do it. If we start looking at, oh no, I need a part for my car. My car's breaking down. I need a part. I'm going to pay for it. You find a way to do it. You figure it out. But yet, if you always live in this mindset that money is for everyone else gets taken care of first, and you get what's left over, I guarantee you're not going to get much because there's never any left over. Money gets spent. It's going to be spent one way or the other. The question is, are you spending it on you and things that move you forward in your life because you want to, or are you spending it on everyone else because they seem more important? Their stuff seems more important than your goal, than what you want. Because when you look at things that way and you start making a different decision about where you spend your money, you make a different decision to say, should I be eating out, or should I put this money toward my goal? Are these resources I can put toward my goal? Should I be buying this new thing right now, or should I put those resources toward my goal? Am I going to go on an Amazon spending spree, or should I take those resources and put them toward my goal? If your goal is to be a creator, what resources do you need? Do you need a camera stand? Do you need lighting? Do you need anything for sound? A microphone or something like that? If you do, those are the things that you can invest in. You can even invest in education, which is by far one of the best investments ever because it cuts down on the amount of time that you have to use to figure it out on your own. So when you get that chance to invest in your education, to invest in coaching, and you say, I just don't have enough money to do it, what you're really saying is, I want to figure it out all on my own. I'm going to take all of this time when I could learn it in 90 days. I'm going to take 8 to 10 years to try and figure this out on my own because I just can't afford it. But that's what the program does. It helps get you back the time and make the money, because it doesn't make any sense to say, I can't afford something and then spend that time, spend that money, and spending your energy. You see, you're spending all over the place, but you spend that time and you spend that money and you spend that energy trying to figure it all out on your own, when you could figure it out much faster by just investing into yourself and your education. But a lot of times what happens is you're not so much worried about the money, you're worried about fear. You've got a fear that what happens if I can't do it? But we're going to get to you in a second. So we've looked at time, we've looked at money. The other things are looking at people, whether those are the relationships that you have at work, bosses, employees, if you're running a business and you have employees, any of those types of people saying, I could be further along if it weren't for these people. So number one, for any of those people that you're working with, you've either got to A, train them, or B, if they're not working out, you've got to let them go, because you can't let other people hold you back. If you truly believe that they're not capable of helping you in the way that you need to, you've got to either have that tough conversation with them and train them and let them know what your expectations are. And if that seems a little weird, this is the part where you've got to step into that confidence. You've got to step into yourself as a leader and be able to talk to the people and let them know what your expectations are. This might be difficult, but it's something that has to be done, because you can't expect them to know things that you want them to know if you don't ever tell them. Now, the other people that could be, you feel holding you back, are family. Family can be one of those things where if they don't believe in what you're doing, they don't give you that support, they don't give you that validation. Family being that they might not agree with what it is that you're doing. They might not support it because they don't understand it. But in those instances with family members, you have to be able to, again, have that difficult conversation and say, look, I know that this is kind of a weird thing and you might not understand it, but it's something that gives me fulfillment It's something I should have done a long time ago, and it's something I'm committed to doing now. And I want you to accept that and to be able to at least be there and support me through this. This is even more important when it becomes your significant other talking to you about this. Whether it's your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, someone that holds some sort of significance to you. And they say they're not supportive of what you're doing. But the question is, do you think they're not supportive, or are they actually not supportive? If they're truly unsupportive, like no matter what it is you say you want to do, they tell you, no, I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to live your dream. I don't want you to be successful. You have to start thinking whether this is an actual relationship that you want to keep, or one that you might have to ultimately let go. Just because if you don't do that, if you don't let that relationship go that is truly unsupportive of you, that later on, and maybe sooner than you think, you're going to begin resenting that person, because you'll look back on today and say, I could have been successful if it wasn't for them. But truly, you can also ask yourself this: if they had something that was really meaningful, that they really, really wanted to fulfill themselves, that would fulfill their lives and tick off every box that would give them that life that they wanted, would you be supportive? Would you be supportive of them investing in themselves and being able to get the help they needed in order to do it? And if you will, and if you would support them, then the question becomes, why wouldn't they support you? And a lot of times, they might not support you just because they've had this experience before where you've claimed you were going to do something and then you didn't follow through with it. It's that trust issue. Do they trust that you're going to follow through with it this time? And here's the thing about that, is because once you can show them, because again, this is on you if you've created this pattern of always saying you want to invest in something, doing it, and then not following through. This is about you now. So if you can start showing them that you're going to show up, you're going to start making that effort every single day, you're pushing closer to it, then you can build that trust back. And you can tell your spouse, you can tell your significant other that this is what's truly important to me. And I'm not asking you for permission. I'm just asking for your support on this. And this is where you're making the decision. You're making the decision for you. And you're asking for that sort of support, because that's what you need in order to move forward. That's the obstacle to overcome. That's the thing that's holding you back. And it doesn't need to hold you back anymore. And now let's circle back around to you. What is it that you believe is holding you back? See, this starts coming down to beliefs, believing I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, believing I'm an imposter, I can't do this, believing that you lack education, or you lack time, or you lack any of these things. Anytime you're saying, I don't have, this is a belief that you have. It's a certainty of saying, I am certain that this is holding me back. I am certain that I can't move forward because of this. And one of the biggest things that we look at when it comes to these limiting beliefs is saying, is it true? Because it's never true. It never is. Any of these things are just a belief that you are. And yet, once you push those out of the way, which you do by making a decision, and you push those out of the way, then all of a sudden, the world opens up. And you wonder why it took you so long to do it in the first place. But when you start looking at these limiting beliefs that you have, and you start looking at the decision to be made, that is the biggest question, is are you willing to make the decision right now? Are you willing to make a decision, or is it that you just don't know how to make a decision? Now, there's this story, and it's been iterated a whole ton of different ways, saying that a general on a ship, he's bringing his ship to an island, and the island is filled with all sorts of enemy combatants, and the army is going to take this island. But the only way that the captain believes that he can do this is he orders the boats burned behind them, because he figures as long as we burn the boats behind us, now we are committed. We have made a decision and we have to win, because we're either going to win or we're going to die trying. And so that's the whole idea. You may have heard this: burn the boat behind you, burn the bridge behind you. This is making a true decision, because once you've decided, you've burnt your entire way back. You've cut off any sort of escape, and you're focused and you're committed 100%. Now, that burning of the boats might be investing in yourself. It might be drawing a line in the sand and saying, today is the day. I am sick of where I am and I refuse to stay here a moment longer. And you start focusing on where it is you need to go, because you've made a strong decision on where you need to be and what it is that you have to do that's going to push you toward the success that you want. And then last is follow through, because sometimes you make the decision and then you just don't follow through with it. Now, follow through, the execution part of things. This is one of the most difficult things for people to be able to do. It's one of the difficult obstacles that's standing in your way, because making the decision sometimes was extremely difficult to do, but keeping committed to that decision, to executing on your plan, that's what we're working on right here, right now. Every single day that you're watching these videos, you are committing to your outcome. You're getting just a little bit further. You're getting a little bit better, and you're starting to make better decisions for yourself. So the only thing that can ultimately hold you back are the beliefs that you have, are the certainties you hold that you say, I can't be successful because, when truly none of that has ever existed. You believe it does, but once you make a decision to change and you start taking the steps forward, remember, it's exactly like we're doing right now. We've made a decision. We're done with living life the way we've been living it. We're making a decision to change. We're creating a plan and we're taking the first steps forward. And every single day, we're just taking another step forward and another step forward. And as long as we're getting just a little bit better every single day, nothing massive, just a little bit better, we will eventually reach our goal. Because as long as we're headed in the right direction, there is no way we can lose. And we won't lose, because we know where we're going and we're taking the steps to get there. So this is the obstacles. And I don't want anything to hold you back anymore. Never again. You can be limitless. This is all about you, and it's about your success. And I hope I followed through with my intention today into giving you some insight on the other things that are holding you back, and to realize none of those things actually exist. This is all about you, your decision, and your commitment to continually execute every single day. And I guarantee you, you will be successful. So brush those things aside. There is nothing that can hold you back. So I will see you tomorrow. I'm super excited for you. And until tomorrow, when I see you again, and I'm holding you accountable for this, get out there, make that decision, stay committed, and take action now.